Alright, welcome back to the channel. This is Michael. So today we're going to be doing a book haul. I realized I've not done one of these in probably 2 months. So I've got about 30 books that we're going to run through. So I'm going to start with, I'll break it into different categories. I'm going to start with some new books I got. It's a mix of horror, YA horror, sci-fi, and a little bit of mystery here and there. But I'll start with the new books, and then I'll work into what I got used. So here's the new stuff. So the first book I'm going to talk about that I got is the new Ronald Malphy release called They Lurk. This is a collection of 5 novellas that had some of them been previously printed, but they're gathered here together for the first time. This is from Titan Books. They've been putting out one of his books now, one per year, which is very nice. I did not read last year's collection, so this is now a backlog of Ronald Malphy, unfortunately. But he is really, really good. I loved his book, Come With Me, a couple of years ago. It was one of my favorite books of the year. His writing is fantastic, so I'm looking forward to jumping into more of his work. The next up is Blood on Satan's Claw, or The Devil's Skin, by Robert Wynne Simmons, and illustrations by Richard Wells. So this I just got today in the mail. This was the hardcover edition of this book. This is a novelization of the movie Blood on Satan's Claw. And it's very beautifully illustrated by Richard Wells. The inside has some very nice pictures inside. If you like that sort of old-timey wood carving kind of imagery, there's some beautiful illustrations in here. And it has one of my favorite things about books, which is a nice ribbon marker. So this makes that book even nicer to read. So, yeah. Okay. So this one I next picked up is called Busty BBW Bloodsuckers from Beyond by Jeff O'Brien. This one, I saw it pop up on Instagram. Another person had posted a picture of it. It looked too silly not to pick up. I found out that this author has also written books like Big Bubenstein, based on Frankenstein, but obviously he likes big boobs. So, yeah. Anyway, this is kind of ridiculous. I've already read this. It's about 130 pages, really fast. It's just silly. I've never read a book, ever, where every single character's main motivation is sex. So, there you go. And following Busty BBW Bloodsuckers from Beyond, it is The Art and Science of Arrival. This is written by Tanya Lapointe, who is partnered with Denis Villeneuve, who is the director of Arrival. This is her sort of on-set, sort of documenting the art and how they sort of came up with things for this movie to interpret what was in the story, the book itself. So yeah, if you love Arrival, this is a good companion piece to that. It is full of pictures, designs, like them designing the ships. It is also full of designs of designing the aliens. There you go. Yeah. So, if you love the movie Arrival, I do recommend this book. I have not read through it yet in full, but I love Arrival, and I look forward to sort of seeing some behind the scenes of that. So, if you haven't seen the movie Arrival, I do recommend that. And if you haven't read the book by Ted Chiang, oh, this is washed out. Story of Your Life by Ted Chiang. This has the short story of Your Life, which the movie Arrival is based on. So, yeah, give it a chance. Okay, so I'm going to run through the YA horror that I got. So first up is The Mall by Richie Tankersley Cusick. This one I have admittedly already read. It was a lot of fun. This is, it's my second Richie Tankersley Cusick book, and she loves humongous, dramatic, action-packed endings. This did not disappoint. This one was also creepy and over the top, much like her other book that I read earlier in the year. The title's jumping out at me. I'll put it on the screen, what that one's called. So yeah, this one is a lot of fun. The Mall, recommend it. It's about a teenage girl working at a mall getting stalked. What I've learned from reading a lot of YAs, all the guys are either red herrings or they're horrible people. So much like teenage boys, they capture that really well in this. So these I all picked up at a garage sale for 25 cents each. So I got The Train by Diane Ho. This one I'm assuming is about a train. So don't know much about that one. I got Party Line by A. Bates. So a relic from the past of a rotary dial phone and a party line. So that's definitely dating yourself there. I got Amnesia by Sinclair Smith. What you don't remember can kill you. So that's another one I picked up. I got this one by Midnight Place. I guess this is like sort of like a... All these why I have like little series titles. Midnight Place, Death Cycle by Simon Lake. So this one's got some sort of crazy biker riding his death cycle. So that should be good. And I got 2 Nightmare Hall books. So I got Nightmare Hall, The Silent Scream by Diane Ho. This one has nice step-back art there. For that. And I got Nightmare Hall, Deadly Attraction, also by Diane Ho. And this one also has nice step-back art of a butt with scissors. Yes. So, were you expecting a butt? No one expects a butt. Anyway, so next up is vintage horror. So this is stuff from the 70s, 80s, 90s, approximately, plus a couple newer ones that would sort of fit in this category. So, first up is Audrey Rose by Frank Felida. So this is one is about a reincarnation, and this one I've seen this artwork quite often. That creepy girl there, the Hellfire. So this one's about a reincarnated daughter. So don't know much about other than that, but it says hot, 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 hot on the back as the description. So hot, 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 hot. Or is it Ho Thought? You never know. Next up is The Pack by William Essex. This is a leisure horror release. So I have the other pack that came out on the Paperbacks from Hell, and I thought it was the same one at first, but it's another pack. So maybe I'll do like a back-to-back, pack-to-pack at some point. If anyone wants to jump in with that with me and do a Dog Attack series, we can do that. I've got Marianne Mitchell's The Vampire de Sade. So this is part of her Vampire de Sade series. I have not read any of these so far, but I've got 3 of them now. So I'll see if I like them. If not, then if anyone loves these, maybe I'll pass them on if I don't like them. So, but yeah, they should be about Marquis de Sade, but he's a vampire. Next up, Legion by William Peter Blatty. So this is the sequel to The Exorcist. It's got some nice step-back art as well, with a priest with some creepy people. So yeah, this one I have not read either. I have read The Exorcist. That's one of my favorite books. R.I.P. William Friedkin. Superstitions by R.L. Stine. So this was his debut as a adult writer. I don't know much about this book other than it's R.L. Stine, so it should be good. If anyone's read this, let me know. I got... Oh, this is sort of more newer stuff. Survivor Song by Paul Tremblay. I've heard good things about this book. Oh, there we go. I'm leaning into the shot here. Paul Tremblay, Survivor Song. I don't know much about this one, but I have heard good things. I've seen this sort of pop up in other people's recommendations. I've never read any Paul Tremblay, so I'll see if I like him. And then sort of a weird anomaly one. Didn't even know this existed. It's called Midnight Movie by Toby Hooper. And this is an uncorrected, not-for-sale proof of that. So, from what I understand, I read a little bit about this and a little bit of the details of it. It's sort of based on pretending to be real. So Toby Hooper directed a movie when he was a teenager that drives people insane. And this book is like a documentary similar to the book World War Z, was sort of documenting what happens after that. So looks like it's got interviews, fake newspaper clippings. It's all washed out there. You can't see that, but there's zombies, so it's sort of fitting into that zombie theme, I guess. But yeah, it should be interesting. And the fact that it's like an uncorrected proof, that's kind of a nice, neat find to find. And I didn't know that Toby Hooper actually had directed it, so that's kind of cool. Or wrote that, rather. Okay, and so lastly is sort of a mishmash of different types of books. Some science fiction, some horror, some thriller. So you'll see. First up is I got a Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan, The Hollow Ones. So I have read the Strain series by Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan, which is a really, really good vampire series if you haven't read. So I don't know anything about this, except that it's going to be sort of an FBI thriller. Hopefully it's still kind of horror adjacent, but we'll find out. Next up, fantasy. This is called Tehanu by Ursula K. Le Guin. And this is the 4th book in her Earth-Sea Cycle series, which is about wizards and stuff like that. So, I've read the first in the Earth-Seas, so there is 4 of them. And Ursula K. Le Guin is a fantastic author, but this is a children's book, so yeah, it's going to be probably a pretty easy read. Spiral by Sakura Mizuki. So this one I picked up. It is the manga for Spiral, which was sort of the sequel to The Ring. I don't know anything about Spiral. I haven't read the book, which this is based off of Koji Suzuki's book. But if it's related to The Ring, then it's probably going to be kind of creepy, so we'll find out. Will it keep up to... I've been reading lots of Junji Ito, so I don't know if this will keep up with that, so... Next is Neil Gaiman, The Ocean at the End of the Lane. Now, I have not read any Neil Gaiman, so if anybody's got some insight into Neil Gaiman and his fantasy world, and how he writes, I'd like to know. Please leave a comment below if you've read any of his stuff. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. I've seen this sort of imagery up and about. I've seen that for a while now, and I kind of liked it, so the finding this used for a buck was a nice find. Next is... This is like a crime book. Louise Penny's The Great Reckoning. So Louise Penny is a Canadian author. Her character is Armand Gamache, who's part of the Quebec detective. And he is in this small town called Three Pines. There is actually a TV series on Amazon Prime called Three Pines, which I highly recommend. It is very well done. And this is sort of, it's based on her writings, this Louise Penny's writings. So yeah, I'm going to give this a shot. Okay, you guys remember The Rocketeer? So I got The Rocketeer novelization. So it's just the novelization of the movie. The movie's probably going to be better, but it should be fun. It's pretty much like a guy with a rocket pack and a helmet fighting Nazis. So that's what you want in life. Okay, next up, here's some science fiction for you. Communion by Whitley Strieber. So this one is about an alien abduction or first contact. This is supposed to be based on real life, I believe. So, or maybe not. Anyway, yeah, a true story right there. Yeah, so I think this is sort of a help kickstart part of the alien obsession of the 90s. I've heard lots of good things about this, and I've been wanting to read for a while, so I was happy to find a copy of that there. I found a used copy of Phil K. Dick's Ubic. I've read a couple of his books so far, and those are a lot of fun. Science fiction. I have no idea what this one's about. Described as a metaphysical comedy of death and salvation. So that should be fun. And I like the artwork. It's kind of weird. And lastly, you guys like the X-Files? I like the X-Files. This is the X-Files Book of the Unexplained by Jane Goldman. So this is a big hardcover book. It reads pretty much like a You like aliens? A bunch of stuff about UFOs. You like Bigfoot? Here's a bunch of stuff about Bigfoot. And then there's a bunch of XFiles stuff intertwined. So it's based on the case episodes of sort of the first or second season, and it's sort of tied into that. So it's dedicated to somebody who gave it up. Matthew, your father and I would like to wish you a very happy 13th birthday. Love, Mom and Dad, August 4th, 1996. So, Matthew, your book has now moved into my possession, where it'll stay until I die. Then someone else will get it. Hopefully you didn't die. Right, so I think that's everything that I've gone in the last 2-3 months. Outside of the Nightworms, I think I did a collection of that the other day. It's a lot of books. I need to read faster. I'm trying to work through it, but it's hard. It's, you got two hobbies that clash. You got reading books and you got collecting books. Collecting books is easy because you just have to go out and do stuff and find them. Finding the time to read all the books on top of, daily life adventures is that's the challenge. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll try to work through some of these. I'll let you know how they turn out, if any of them are good or bad in the future. So that's it for today. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys later.